Good morning, folks. I come to you today from the very cold and very covered in plastic studio. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm up pretty early because today was supposed to be the day that they came in, the heating and cooling people came in and put in a mini split in the studio. Because I had a heating setup in here, heating and cooling. It was this portable AC unit thing that could do, you know, heating and cooling because it was like a fancy inverter thing or something. But it was great and it was keeping the space pretty warm for a while. And then I found out that it doesn't work down to 40 degrees or less. So if outside is 40 degrees or less, it cannot heat in here. Hence the need for another heating solution. In between then and now, I used these little just ceramic blower heater, whatever things. Just basic resistive heaters that just get the job done for now. Those were up for like a week or two, but they've been put away and everything has been covered in plastic so that the heating and cooling guys could come and put in the mini split, and it was gonna make a huge mess because they're gonna kind of have to cut a whole big hole in the drywall over there. And I didn't want to have to deal with vacuuming every single tiny little crevice on every single tiny little thing that I own. But alas, subscribers and other people who are watching this for some reason, hopefully my crash out here will earn the sub. Folks, they're not coming today. They called me. 2 of their people were out with the flu. And I asked him if they would be able to reschedule for later today, and he said no. And then I asked if he knew what time they would be able to reschedule, and he said, I don't know. So, this sucks. And I just wanted to make this video talking about how much everything kind of sucks. If you haven't noticed, the gap between uploads has been getting longer and longer. I managed to get that Christmas video out by the skin of my teeth. I think I put in like 3 14-hour days at the end there to just get that one out. It's all just the editing. Oh, it's all just the editing. And you know what? One thing that's looking up for 2026 is I have hired an editor. God, is that overdue. Oh, the editing, it just takes... Even on the second channel videos that are not so edited, it just takes so long. On a main channel video, my editing to like filming and doing actual stuff ratio is crazy. Like typically I will film the video. If it's like a more basic video where I've just got some weird computer on the table and I'm just gaming on it or whatever, then those videos probably take 3, maybe 4 days to film, and then editing after that is like the rest of the month. It just takes so long. And I get it because it's like that's where the magic happens. I mean, half the time I go to sit down at the workstation to record a video, it feels like in the moment that I'm recording that I'm like, oh, this is the worst video I've ever made. But like, it's not. It just feels like that. I don't know. Like imagine just watching one of my videos and then it's like you leave in all of the like awkward space and like weird breathing and stuff. And then I'm like repeating a joke like 4 or 5 times because I'm trying to get the timing like just right. Like it's a bad vibe. It just doesn't feel good. And add on to the fact that like I can't even like listen to music or anything while I'm filming because obviously that would come through in the footage. It's all live. I don't like dub over the videos or anything. Somebody thought I dubbed over the videos. That was really weird. What was I even talking about? Time, I guess, Dr. Freeman. So the gaming without a cooler video came out on August 28th. Then the receipt printer video came out on November 26th. That was a 3-month gap. And that gap was taken up almost entirely by renovations happening at this here new studio. I showed you guys a little bit of it at the ending of some video, I don't remember. And then I think I showed a little bit of it in another second channel video. But this place that we moved into, place that we bought, luckily, like, I still don't even understand how it all is possible. But this place that we bought for making videos here, it's a garage downstairs and then the studio space here upstairs. And it was not move-in ready, not at all. In fact, for a time there, I was editing entirely in the bedroom in the house. I just needed somewhere to set up my computer and to edit. I think it was the Nugget drag race. Well, actually, there was a few videos I edited in there. Geez, okay, yeah, so the prototype Steam Deck video, the Great Nugget drag race, I Hate Mainstream Technology, Gaming Without a Cooler, those were all edited in a bedroom. And I know how like the old studio was like a bedroom, but that was like dedicated to that. This was just like, I just need my computer to exist somewhere so I can use it. And that's why there was such a big gap there near the end, because I I imploded. I could not do it. In that entire time, during all of those videos, except the prototype Steam Deck video, I filmed that video at the old house. Everything else was shot and edited here, especially the Nugget drag race. You'll notice that that is filmed in just the most bizarre of locations. And then the one where I drilled all the holes into the CPU cooler, that was literally just filmed in the backyard under a gazebo, like a little $70 one from Walmart, because I just needed somewhere to film. I couldn't film that in the garage because it was being worked on. Couldn't film that in studio because it was being worked on. I literally had nowhere else to film but outside. And it's like when you're working with those kind of constraints, editing in the corner of a bedroom and filming outside in the heat, trying to make sure things don't get super destroyed by the sun, trying to make sure I don't get destroyed by the sun. The camera was overheating like every 20 minutes. You just can't. You can't do that forever. I mean, maybe some people can. There are some crazy people on this platform that can just do stuff and just raw dog the worst of it, but that is not me. It just kind of drove me to just put my hands in the air. Like I just don't care. Well, I actually do care quite a bit. That's been the hardest part. I was just like, okay, if I can't make videos in a way that is conducive to like the creative process, I'm just not going to. Just not going to. So then I waited it out. That was that 3-month gap. I was like, I need the rest of these renovations to finish before I attempt to do anything. And to be honest, it was more like 1 month of waiting. And then once everything was finally squared away up in here, then it was like another month of kind of moving things in. You know, the desk, the workbench, just everything. There's so much. We had to buy a lot of new furniture for in the studio too, because like it was so cramped at the old one and the organizational system was terrible. I had to redo all the networking stuff. We had to get all the nice Ubiquiti stuff set up. I ran a lot of Ethernet cabling. We even had to run a LC fiber cable between this studio and the house so I could get internet out here because I'm not paying for a second internet plan. No, fuck you, Xfinity. We already made a video about that. And then the 3rd month was recording the receipt printer gaming video and then editing that and getting it out. But it's just like time. I have none. I have none. I have attempted from learning from other YouTubers of the time that I grew up watching, you know, like MatPat, Doug. Right now, this is happening for him. They're just toast. They're like, I have spent way too much of my time neglecting personal time, neglecting personal health, neglecting time with family, friends, all of that to make this stupid video machine work. And I'm not saying that I'm at that point, obviously not. We got a lot more work to do here, folks. I'm not setting this whole studio up to make like one video and then call it quits. What I'm saying is that I have grown up watching other YouTubers completely burn themselves out and then just give up one day. And I've tried to learn from that. I've tried to be part of the next generation of YouTubers that doesn't do that. So I've actually made it a huge priority over the specifically like this last year most, but even the last couple years, I've been trying to make sure that I do take weekends and that I am not working up until midnight and then getting up again at the crack of dawn to keep going every single day. Some people do that. I wish I could do that. But again, right, like I've got my fiance. I've got all of our cats. We have 4 cats now. This is stupid. I've got a pretty big immediate family. Some family members are starting to age out. We're having to take care of them more often now. I've got so much other personal stuff going on. We've got this whole entire crazy house that just needs so much work. And I know I'm like, woe is me. I got to buy a house. Heaven forbid I have to put a little bit of time and money into it. But like, okay, guys, let me lay this out for you. I don't even know why I'm stressing about explaining myself right now because I know it's just going to be a vocal minority that's just going to throw a pissy fit. I know a lot of you guys understand and I immensely appreciate that. The last thing I need is more people getting up my ass about the most stressful shit in my life. Like I didn't come from fucking anything, guys. I am living my wildest dream right now. And I understand that 100%. Like we were not in a great place when I started the channel. My leg was entirely broken from a car accident. I was out of work. My fiance was working full time, luckily, but like we were net negative on, you know, like income every month. Because God knows one full-time income of almost anything is not enough to really make it up here in the great Pacific Northwest. We were in this dinky little apartment and, you know, it was fine, you know, for a couple in their early 20s, you know, it was exactly where we were supposed to be honest with you. But again, like I was saying, we were net negative on money every month. I really needed to get back to work and a little bit of the fear of like, oh crap, we're gonna run out of money led me to go back to work probably a little too early. I didn't really keep up on on the physical therapy enough, and that is my fault, to be honest. So every once in a while, I'll wake up and the leg still feels like I just got punched in the middle of the night. And to be honest, with 4 cats, they probably were fighting on top of it. But anyway, I went back to work after like 3 months, I think, after breaking my femur. And around that time is when I also started to make the YouTube videos. Some of the first few. Obviously, the GameCube Mini was like one of the first. But the GameCube Mini was a product of me staying at home for like a super long time, not really like having anything to do because my femur was broken. I watched all of Breaking Bad and all of Better Call Saul in that time, and then got so bored I started streaming and making videos. And I mean, fast forward like a year's time, YouTube started doing pretty good. I think around by the time I made the Quest 2 video, that is when I made the leap, and I'm like, okay, I think I can live off of this magical internet money called AdSense revenue. That was the point where it seemed like YouTube was making about the same as what I made at my regular full-time job. And I was like, okay, this is a little spooky. And to put into perspective, I had 50,000 subs at the time. Nobody should quit their job at 50,000 subs, dude. That's crazy. And I hate to use the term like, you miss all the shots you don't take, right? But that's definitely the mindset that I was in. And I really don't like to try and inspire people with my story to like do the same. On one hand, I do, because like this is the coolest thing ever. I think this is like the most desired job of the current generation of kids or whatever. And like, I would not trade it for the world, not a chance. But I mean, law of large numbers, right? If 100 people watch this video and go out and be like, you know what? I am gonna quit my job and take my channel with 5,000 subs or whatever and just live off of that. It's like statistically, a good chunk of those people, I don't know what percentage, nobody knows what percentage, but a good chunk of those people would crash and burn. Hopefully they could go back to their job or find a new job, and it would just be a huge burden on them. So like, I hate to say like, yes, you can be me.
You can look like me.
Ka-chow. I don't know. I feel like there's so much luck to this career. And I've heard other people talk about it. And Linus has talked about it a little bit on the Wayne Show, I think. It's like there's so much luck involved, like with the algorithm and stuff. But at the same time, if you just think like, oh, it's all luck, I'll just make whatever and just keep grinding and just make videos and eventually my luck will pay out. You can't like operate like that. You just can't do that because it's not just luck. If it was just random chance, then you wouldn't see channels get as big as they are and channels do as well as they do. Of course, there's an element of artistic creativity, you know, engagement, all the vectors that make a good YouTube video. But you could also just have horrible luck. You could just have a great video and great artistic direction and great narration and script and everything. And I guess that kind of loops me back around the original reason why I'm sitting here in the 50-degree Fahrenheit studio, quite cold. Because ever since quitting my job, it has just felt like survival mode. Like I said, this YouTube thing is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Asterisk there for meeting my fiance, I love you. And you think about like, if you finally got the thing in life that you most needed and wanted, what would you not do to make sure that you have it? And so that's what it's felt like for a couple years. And the more I learn about how YouTube works and how you have to play the game and all that, I've had to make sure like, okay, I gotta keep the engagement up. I gotta do this with shorts. I gotta make Instagram reels. I gotta make TikToks, which I still have not really desired to do because I just get on that app to upload a video and it just is the worst thing I've seen in my entire life. So I'm like, yeah, no. And I just exit the app and then don't end up uploading anything. But this job just has like its bills, right? Not like literal money, like bills, but it's got like the stuff you have to do in order to keep yourself afloat. Like I have to upload at a certain cadence. I have to have a certain amount of engagement. I have to make sure that I've got the ads placed well. If I don't do every single one of these little responsibilities, this whole entire thing and the whole channel and all that could just be ripped away at any minute. And so that is what has put me into survival mode, is like, okay, I have to make sure I do all these things all the time, constantly, forever, or else everything that I have worked for here is just gonna come crumbling down. And that kind of gets into your head a little bit. And the worst time that gets into your head is when your hands are just completely tied around your back and you can't do any of that stuff. That is what this entire last like half a year has felt like. I have been ready and willing to make videos, but between having to do the renovations here, having to deal with family stuff, personal stuff, even stuff as stupid as like having to set up a furniture item to store cables, like all these things, they just take time. And especially my videos, you know, I'm posting something between like half an hour and an hour long all the time. Videos like that, they take forever. Each of my projects ends up between like 200 and 300 gigabytes of footage. Everything just takes so much time. And every little stupid thing that I've got to do, like re-caulking the door or whatever, like the time it takes to get up and go run to Lowe's and get what I got to get and then go mask things off, put it all up and, you know, just all this stuff. It just takes time. A day that I have to do that is another day I am not uploading a video. Another day I'm not recording a video. Another day I'm not editing a video. And as like a one-man band this whole time, it's like if I do want to go and take the weekend to just chill, like I've been doing, I've been a bit militant about that because like I said, I don't want to fall into a horrible trap with time. If I want to take a weekend or go hang out with friends on a random day or something, that's another day that I'm like kicking the upload date of the next video down the road. And so the days like this, where the AC and heating guy calls me and he's like, we can't come out today and we don't know when we can come out. That guy is now determining how much longer it's going to be for me to start working on the next video. And there's nothing I can do about it. And so it just feels like in my head, I don't know if this is true or not, but it sure feels like it, that I am watching my livelihood and everything I've built slowly being dragged away from me. Well, that was toward me. Pushed away from me, and my hands are entirely tied behind my back, and there's nothing that I can do to try and claw it back right now. And I know that seems a little dramatic. It's like, come on, bro, it's not gonna be more than a couple days. But it's like, we just had the Christmas break and everything, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you wanna do. New Year's, and just with everything with holidays and people doing stuff, you know, you end up just not doing much during that time period. Nobody ends up doing much. So right now, as I record this, it has been just about 2 weeks since I published the Christmas video, and I haven't even started on the next one. By now, I should have a video recorded, and I should be a good amount of days into editing, and I've got nothing. And I know, should not beat myself up too much about it. It was the holiday season. It's just how it goes. But it's like, these things, they add up. People notice. People are gonna notice that it's gonna be like a nearly 2-month gap between uploading the Christmas video and uploading whatever the next video is gonna be. I don't even know what it's gonna be. I just don't want to fade into irrelevance, you know? There's nothing worse than trying to claw all of this back when the algorithm or the audience or whatever have just decided that your time is done, you know? You've seen it before. It happens. It does happen to channels that are huge that you think are not going to go away. They think they're going to upload and be popular forever. Some of them just fade into nothingness, and you know, there's not much you can do when you're not uploading. But some of them do still post pretty regularly, and you just watch as their channel just kind of, you know, fades into obscurity. And when I have to sit here and the heating and cooling guy says that he has no idea when he can come out here, I just feel like I'm at risk for that. It's like, yeah, I can just throw those other heaters back up and pull all this plastic off and keep working. But again, time. It's gonna take me a day to pull all this plastic off and put all the furniture back where it needs to go and re-hook up all the computers and plug all the internet stuff back in. But for all I know, they're gonna call me while I just finish doing all that and be like, oh, we'll come back out tomorrow morning. So then I gotta move everything back and put all the plastic back on. And it's like, it's just not a good use of time. Time, Dr. Freeman. So time is the enemy. It is my greatest resource and the thing I have the least of and the thing I protect the most. And even like making sure that I take at least one weekend day off every week is still, it comes with its own demons, it feels like. Because a lot of people, by the time they burn out after like 5-7 years or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, I worked through all my weekends and it wasn't good for me mentally and I just don't have that. I wish I would have taken that time. But then also now sometimes I'll be like really late on a video or things are just not going well and I'll just be sitting there on a Saturday in my house just like, I'm not working on video. I could be working on video right now. Video need to be worked on. Because, you know, I'm just like a workaholic like everyone else on this stupid platform. So it's all I can ever think about. So sometimes it is hard to just take a day and chill out. And that has its own thing in the back of my head sometimes where it's like, oh, if you didn't take all those stupid weekend days, you could actually be like posting videos. It's like, to what end was it to take this time every week to just like chill out and not work? Like, is that what I even want? Do I want to just set myself back even more every week? Wasting time, the thing I have the least of? But you just can't think like that. It's not wasting time. It's spending time with friends and family. It's important. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm going crazy now, but I would feel like I'd be going even crazier, I guess, if I didn't take that time. So, you know, gaming. Anyway, But like I told you guys, I have hired a full-time editor. You're gonna start seeing more of his work on the second channel coming here soon. He has actually done some work for me. He worked on the Nugget drag race video a bit. He worked on the prototype Steam Deck video a bit. And I think a second channel video or two he also did. Yeah, the Xfinity rebooter thingy. So far, a lot of those videos have kind of been like 50% him, 50% me. Cause you know, the videos are my baby. I can't just let all of the creative direction go to someone else. But eventually I have to, right? But before that happens, I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna keep the quality up here. Don't worry. So that is the next biggest crazy leap of faith decision that I've made. Put another human being on my payroll when I'm constantly wigging out over here whether or not I'm even gonna have my own payroll because I can't upload anything. So there you go. Thank you for being here for the Bringus Studios Crash Out 2026. We made it 5 days. 5 days, woo, 5 days. All right, well, you guys know what's going on now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. You guys are the dream come true. I'd be nothing without you. Bye-bye.